In this video, I'll be talking about tuple. So tuples are ordered collections of items that are immutable. Immutable simply means the collections cannot be modified. That is, cannot add, you can't remove, you can't change, you can't do anything within the collections of items. Tuples are actually similar to lists. If you want to know more about the list and its different operations, methods, you can check my previous video. I'll drop the link down below for you to see that. But their immutability makes them different. Yeah, tuples are basically similar to lists, but its immutability makes it different from lists. So now this is the outline of what I'll be covering in this video. I'll be showing you how to create a list, how to access elements in a tuple, the different tuple operations, tuple methods, packing and unpacking tuples, and nested tuples. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to create a tuple. So to create a tuple, you use the bracket. Use the bracket to create a tuple. You can insert the elements you want. For instance, let me insert the elements I want. Okay, so now let me print the type so you see that it is actually a tuple. Okay, so as you can see, the class is called tuple. There's basically another way to create a tuple. Can create an empty tuple. Tuple equals to tuple. So if I print this, see an empty tuple. Okay, let me print the type as well. Print type tuple. As you can see, it's actually a tuple. Okay, so these are the two ways to create a tuple in Python. So you can actually convert a tuple to a list and a list to a tuple as well. Let me show you how to do that. So to convert this tuple to a list, let me call this list equal to list tuple. Print list. Can you see that it has been converted to a list? Okay, let me insert variables to this tuple created. Tuple range 1, 11. Okay, so basically you can convert a tuple to a list. You can as well convert a list to a tuple. So if I want to convert this list now to a tuple, let me see, TP. So tuple then the name of a variable list. Print TP. So this is basically how to convert a list to a tuple and how to convert a tuple and how to convert a list to a tuple. Okay, the next item on the outline is how to access elements in the tuple. Okay, so now we have a tuple here called TP. Now to access an element is similar to how to access elements in a list. It's just the same way to access elements in a list. That's the same thing in tuple. Okay, so for instance, if I want to access 1, you use the index to access an element in the tuple. Like 1 is index 0, 2 is index 1, down, the same way. Okay, so now if I want to access index 1, print TP index. This is to access index 1. Can you see that 1 has been accessed? And then if I want to access index 5, 6 has been accessed. So you can as well access all the elements in the tuple using double colon. Okay, you can as well access it backwards, because this is index 0, index 1, index 2. The same way in reverse, -1, -2, -3, -4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So 1 is index 0 and index -1. Okay, so if I so the whole element in the tuple has been reversed. So if for instance I want to access elements from 1 down to 5, we use through 5. Okay, this is simply this double colon simply represents a range of values. Okay, so now this simply means all the values down to index 5. Can you see that? Now I can say, starting from index 5, retrieve all values. That's 5 colon. Okay, all values from index 5 has been retrieved. All right, so this is basically how to access elements in a tuple. So the next item on the outline is tuple operation. So basically tuple supports various operations like concatenation, repetition and string. Okay, so let me show you the first operation, which is concatenate. So if for instance I have 2 tuples and I want to concatenate them, concatenate simply means joining 2 things together. Okay, so for instance I have tuple 1, which is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have tuple 2. Let me say 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it can be more and more. Let me say for instance conc is equal to tuple 1, use plus, this is the concatenate symbol, plus tuple 2. Now print conc. Okay, so basically everything has been joined together. So this is basically a tuple operation. Okay, so the next tuple operation I'd love to show you is the repetition. The next item on the outline is the tuple method. Okay, so tuple basically have 2 types of method. Okay, it has 2 methods, which is the count and index. Count is simply a way to count the number of times a particular element occurs in a list, in a tuple rather. So if for instance I want to count the number of times 2 appears in this tuple, what you do, print tuple. No, the name of that is not tuple. The name of this variance. What's the name of this variance? Okay, rep dot count. I want to count 2. Okay, so let's run this operation. So 2 appears 6 times in this tuple. So this is basically how to use count. It's just simply counting the number of times an element occurs in a tuple. Then the second tuple method is the index. Index is simply just the position of an element in a tuple. So now I want to find out the first position of 6 in this tuple. To do that, print rep dot index 6. Okay, so this will show me the position of 6 in this tuple. The first, can you see that it's in index 7? So if I count 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay, so it retrieves the first position of the element in that tuple. Okay, so the next item on the outline is packing and unpacking tuple. Okay, so packing tuple, basically, if for instance I give my variable name, let me name my variable fruits, for instance, equal to, so let me say I want to list some fruits: orange, guava. And note, tuple can contain different data types. Okay, I can say 23, I can say 4.34. okay, you can as much as you want. So now, listing elements this way without putting them in either a bracket or a box bracket or curly bracket automatically presents this as a tuple. So if I print fruits, it will automatically, can you see it's in a tuple? So let me say type, to see the type, the data type of this. Oh, I must spell my type properly. Okay, can you see that tuple? So this is basically how to pack a tuple. Okay, just listing elements without putting them in either a square bracket or a curly bracket or whatever automatically packs it in a tuple. Okay, so now how to unpack a tuple? So for instance, I have this element 1 2 3 4, and then I want to unpack it. What to do? Just specify the number of elements like A, B, C, D. Did I use the right English? Okay, like give variables to each of the elements in the tuple. So now we have 4 elements here, so I call elements 1 A, B, C, and D. Okay, so now the name of the tuple is fruit. All right, so now if I print A, print B, let me copy this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, C, and D. Okay, basically we've unpacked it. It's no longer in a tuple. We can also as well just print everything all at once. A, B, C, and D. Okay, so it's no longer in a tuple. So this is basically how to unpack tuple. You can as well unpack it using the asterisk sign. For instance, let me say first, comma, middle, comma, last equal to fruits. Okay, print first, print, yeah, you just write the middle, you don't need to add the asterisk sign. This asterisk sign just takes up all the elements in between the first and the last. Sorry, excuse me. Print last. Okay, let's run this code. Can you see that we have orange, guava? So the element in the middle is guava and 23. Okay, guava and 23. So basically this middle element, prints all the variables in between the first and the last. Okay, so this is how to unpack a tuple. So the next item on our outline is nested tuple. Okay, yes, you can actually create tuple in a tuple inside a tuple. That is basically what nested tuple simply means. So for instance, I have tuple equal to, remember, use the bracket to create a tuple. So you can create another tuple inside. For instance, we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, comma, you have your bracket again. Let me say 3, 4, 5. Then brackets 1, 3, 5. So this is basically print tuple. So this is basically how to create a tuple inside a tuple. All right. So now for this nested tuple, each of these sets of tuple is index 0. This is index 1, index 2. This is for accessing a tuple inside a tuple. If you want to access only this the first tuple, type in print tuple 0, which is index 0. Okay, so it prints this. So if you want to print the element 2, for instance, you just simply type the index. Okay, it prints out the element. So to print out the element, you type in the index of the group of tuple you want to print, and then the index of the element. Okay, so if for instance I want to access this second tuple, this second tuple is index 1. Okay, and then I want to access 5 is index 2. So if I print this, I'm going to get 5. All right, so basically this is all about tuple. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Bye.